Hello, dwellers, and welcome to the basement. It's Tuesday night, and we had a brand new episode of The Flash. This was episode 11 of season 3, titled Dead or Alive. Now, as many of you know, this video will contain spoilers, as I will discuss various aspects about tonight's episode. So if you did not see it, please, I encourage you, go watch the episode first, then come back and see what I have to say, and also leave so that this way you can leave your insight about tonight's episode. No, yeah, I'm trying to get better with my hosting and presentation, folks, so get used to those styles of intros. That said, first obvious question, was this a good episode or a bad episode? And in my personal opinion, this was definitely a good episode. And it was very refreshing because the focus was not on Barry Allen. The focus was on HR and Cisco Ramon. Uh, I can't tell you, when you have a show that has an ensemble cast, and sometimes if all the focus is on one character, such as the case of The Flash, sometimes you have all these extra characters that kind of just feel like they feel set in their individual roles, that they don't get a chance to shine, even though they contribute to the overall story week after week, episode after episode. So to have Barry kind of bugger off and be a secondary character in the story, again, is very refreshing. And we also get an opportunity to learn more about HR and allow Cisco, who has dealt with 3 Welleses up to this point, to be able to, well, as he put it, step up when the opportunity to present himself for him to be a hero. So with that said, let's get into the spoiler portion of the review. Spoiler warning is in effect for the remainder of this video, as the whole big thing about this episode is that a collector from Earth 19 has come to Earth 1 to retrieve HR. The reason being, and I found this really creative, is that on Earth 19 they were invaded by another Earth, and so interdimensional crossing over between parallel worlds is illegal, and it's punishable by death for anyone who does it. HR knew this, and he decided to come to Earth 1 anyway because he considers himself to be a fraud. He may have had power and respect, but when he looked in the mirror, he did not feel that. So he came to Earth 1 to literally make something more of himself. To make himself into a hero, for lack of a better term, both literally and figuratively, in terms of he was beaming back chapters of his adventures on Earth 1 with various details changed to make himself to be the hero. But so that's how the collector Gypsy knew where he was and was able to track him down. But this little aspect about HR is really cool, and it definitely played into the fact that that the character of Wells and Cisco have basically reversed roles. Remember, the first 2 seasons, the first 2 Welleses in season 1, which is obviously the Reverse Flash, and in season 2 it was the Wells from Earth 2, are both geniuses, the scientist, the smartest guys in the room, and basically Team Flash became dependent on them. Here in season 3, the Wells is not the smartest guy in the room. He is basically the heartbeat, basically what Cisco was in the first 2 seasons. So, but now Cisco is the smartest guy in the room, which means the roles basically is reversed, and we see that play out in a couple of scenes where just Cisco and HR are talking, particularly at the end of the episode, where Cisco gives HR some insight for what the original Wells said, but that someday Cisco would get his opportunities for him to be ready, for him to be a hero, because it will be time for him to step up. And he says that to HR, saying that for him to basically do the same thing, because someday HR is going to get the opportunity that he came to Earth 1 for, and that's a great parallel there. That's a great way of working in these. Granted, it's a third different Wells, but to see that chemistry reversed from what it was the first two seasons here, and it definitely play out. And we know based on future events that that HR will end up on that rooftop uh, when Barry goes to save Iris from Savitar. That HR will be ready. Well, at least it's implied that he will be ready. The other big thing is Gypsy, basically now a collector whose only real excuse for popping up on Earth One now is to look for coffee, uh, hang out with Cisco, and to collect anyone else from Earth 19 that heads to Earth One. So I don't really see her being a reoccurring character. She did certainly present a good opponent and definitely played the flirtatiousness with Cisco. Definitely was kind of interesting. And you kind of got the feeling that she may have been holding back because she thought he was cute. Just saying. Maybe she saw uh, the camaraderie of Team Flash and how they weren't going to let HR go, and maybe she threw the fight. Granted, it was Julian who noticed some of her tactics. Well, one particular tactic that turned the fight in Cisco's favor. But the fight sequence in and of itself was kind of cool. They went over to Earth 2. They went over to Earth, what was it, 36, where Supergirl resides. And I think that was Miss Tessmacher, who made a cameo appearance as they battled it out at Catco. And some hellish dimension. Wonder what Earth that was. Or if it even was Earth. Maybe it was Apocalypse? Don't know. Don't know. And for those who don't know what Apocalypse is a planet that's ruled by Darkseid, who's the big bad villain in the DC universe. And it'll be very interesting if they maybe that mega villain comes to the CW universe at some point in time. You thought the invasion stuff was nuts. Imagine if they pull off something with Darkseid and the invasion of Apocalypse or something crazy like that. But that's totally unrelated to this episode now, isn't it? With that said, the other big thing in this episode was focusing on Iris and Wally. The big thing is Iris wants her life to matter. She wants to leave some sort of legacy behind in case, Barry fails in saving her life against Savitar. And she says doesn't want to end up like her mother, whose only legacy is basically Wally, which is one hell of a legacy to lead, but is what it is there. The problem with this little story arc here, it just really felt a little bit forced, just a little bit. I didn't really need to see Iris go up to the barrel of a gun. It's just like basically telling the guy to shoot her in the chest. I didn't really need to see that. We also see that Wally's getting faster and faster, and a realization that he's going to be faster than Barry. And instead of Barry trying to be the one to save Iris when dealing with Savitar, it would be Wally, because Wally is as fast as Barry and is getting faster all the damn time. So you got a little bit foreshadowing there, and it's obviously changing of events to get things to work. So be interesting to see. It's interesting to see how different pieces are falling into place. Uh, that said, I did like how Julian fit in with the team. He definitely is basically the snarky Wells character. It has the cynical point of view, but definitely a wise point of view in terms of using mathematics, observances, and trying to make things more efficient. Very much how the original Well was in the first season. So it definitely provides an additional insight, and not to mention it was his strategy, his strategy that noticed what Gypsy, her tactics, as well as coming up with a training regimen for Cisco to try and develop his abilities uh, real quickly within a short amount of time, 24 hours. Um, so again, a lot of good aspects here with the one forced bit back, one forced little bit there involving Iris. That said, I think that covers about everything I want to cover about this particular episode. So, if you've watched tonight's episode of The Flash, leave your thoughts, your opinions, your comments in the comments section below. And coming up in the basement, obviously, after 11 o'clock, we'll be going over tonight's episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Um, and of course, I won't be jumping on Twitch later tonight. I know I won't. I will not be doing a live stream tonight. I got some pre-recording stuff to do for things later this week. Ghostbusters Containment Unit, Comics from the Basement, all that good stuff. And on that note, my friends, and you are my friends, be kind, please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.